Hello everyone, welcome to part 1 of the module Syllogisms. In this video we shall discuss why are we learning this topic, what is syllogism, the different parts of a statement or proposition, the different types of syllogism statements or propositions, what is a middle term, and what does it mean by a major premise and a minor premise. So why are we learning this topic? First and foremost, it is for placement tests. Syllogisms can be solved using Venn diagrams and also using verbal reasoning rule method. We are going to focus on the rule method because that is the best for solving two-statement syllogism questions, and generally the answer keys of the placement test will be based on verbal reasoning. It is also a common question seen in various competitive exams such as bank PO exams or generally any test where you have a verbal or aptitude section. And syllogisms tests your ability to draw logical conclusions based on given information, your verbal reasoning skills, and how well you can combine two known things into a third new deduction. To start with, let's understand what is syllogism. The term syllogisms is from the Greek, which means to infer, count, or reckon. It is a form of reasoning in which a conclusion is drawn from two given or assumed statements. Now, these statements are also called as propositions or premises. Any statement in syllogism is made up of four parts, which are quantifier, subject, copula, and predicate. Let's have a look at an example. In the statement, all cats are dogs, all is a quantifier. Words such as no, some, few, many, and most are other examples of quantifiers. The first noun in the statement is the subject, and the connecting term are is the copula, which does the function of a linking verb in grammar. And the second noun, dogs, is the predicate. The first step in learning syllogisms is understanding the different types of statements or premises. There are four types of statements in syllogisms. The first type is called as universal affirmative. Example, all laptops are computers. This can be represented in the form of this Venn diagram. Even though we are going to solve the questions using the rule method, this diagram is shown to you to understand it better. This means that every entity inside the smaller circle is part of the bigger circle. Hence, I can conclude that the term laptops is distributed, and I can indicate it by putting a tick mark above the term laptops. How about computers? Does it mean that all computers are laptops? No. Hence, the term computers is not distributed. I put a cross mark above computers to indicate that the term is not distributed. Thus, the converse of this statement can be some computers are laptops. The next type of statement is universal negative. An example is no dogs are cats. For better understanding, let's look at the Venn diagram. When we say no dogs, it means that none of the members in the group dogs, and that includes every member in the group without omitting or separating any dog. Hence, the term dogs is distributed. What about cats? All cats are also staying separate without mixing with dogs. Hence, the term cats is also distributed. Thus, the converse of this statement is no cats are dogs. The next type of statement is particular affirmative. Example, some kids are naughty. Here, the quantifier indicates that only some kids are naughty. Hence, the term kids is not distributed, as all the kids doesn't come into the group. In the same case, only some naughty are kids. That means there are other naughty people out there who are not kids. Hence, the term naughty is also not distributed. The converse of this statement is some naughty are kids. The fourth and the last type of statement or proposition is particular negative. Look at the example. Some computers are not cheap. Now, this is a tricky type of statement, and prima facie might look equivalent to the particular affirmative statement, some computers are cheap. However, when we examine it further, we understand that this is only true if every computer is either cheap or not cheap. Because of this, no one Venn diagram can represent this type of statement. Hence, this type of statement doesn't have any valid conversion. While talking about the distribution pattern of these types of statements, the subject will always be not distributed and the predicate will be distributed. Don't worry, it's not that difficult to remember, as this is the only combination of distribution pattern left in the distribution chart that we have discussed so far. To remember the distribution pattern better, you can keep a distribution chart like this one with you while solving the questions initially until you become thorough with it. Now that you have understood the 4 types of statements, let's have a look at an example of a syllogism question and also learn what a middle term is. The example is all wands are hats and all brooms are wands. Here, the middle term is a word which is in subject or predicate position of a categorical preposition which is common in both premises. In this case, it is the term wand. The conclusion for this syllogism is all brooms are hats. So, a middle term can be defined as a term that appears in both premises but not in the conclusion of a categorical syllogism. So, let's also understand the term major premise and minor premise. If you look at the two statements, you understand that middle term wands is in the subject position in the major premise and in the predicate position in the minor premise. Thus, in any categorical syllogism, the statement where the middle term is in the subject position is a major premise and the statement where the middle term is in the predicate position is a minor premise. Hope you have understood the basic terms of syllogisms. Keep learning and best wishes. Thank you.